the Kings and the Nuggets. You can hear the game here on Sactown Sports. And our next guest is a very accomplished individual who has been an actor. He's a volleyball legend, and he happens to be right now the TV voice of the Denver Nuggets. We welcome back to the show Chris Marlowe. How are you today, Chris?
Well, thank you for that nice introduction. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. And so are the Nuggets, of course, playing well. Just put up, as you well know, 144 on Philly. They've won 11 of 14. What has fallen into place for the Nuggets lately, Chris?
Well, good health really helps, as you guys know. Nikola Jokic was out for a few games on baby watch, and then he hurt his elbow. Murray's been out for some games. But maybe the real difference maker was Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon was out for 9 games. He's come back. They're utilizing him off the bench now, so he's coming in with the second team. Nuggets are 5-0 since he got back, and the bench unit is solidified. The Nuggets are not unlike the Sacramento Kings. They have a great starting 5, but the bench has been kind of shaky up and down all year, and I think the Nuggets have figured it out, but we'll have to wait and see as the games progress.
Hey, Chris, Kyle Draper here, man.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, my guy? Russell Westbrook, why is it working with him? And he's been phenomenal as a starter for you guys.
Yeah, I've been coaching him up. He's getting better and better all the time. Now, I think Westbrook, obviously he's a talent. He's been a great player almost wherever he's gone. But I think the last 2 stops in L.A., with the Lakers and Clippers, he just hasn't been used right. He is not the kind of guy that you stick in the corner and then you run a play or you dribble the air out of the ball and pitch it to him with 5 seconds and expect him to make threes. What he's really good at, he's a really good point guard and a much better passer than anybody knew. His passing to Jokic and Gordon and Porter and some of these guys has been spot on. The other area which he's a lot better than I thought is his defense. He's willing to guard anybody, from quick little guards to power forwards. He asked for the assignment against Victor Wembanyama one night, and that was hilarious. Wemby trying to post up Westbrook, and he just couldn't do it. So I think of everybody on the Denver Nuggets, there have been some really nice surprises this year, but I think Russell Westbrook has been number one. He's been too good to be true.
Catching up with the TV voice of the Nuggets, Chris Marlowe. Chris, I hope you'll forgive me. I'm going to ask you a very open-ended question, but I'm curious to see where your mind goes on this. When the Nuggets, of course, won here in December by 1 point, when you look back on that matchup, what stands out in your mind?
That Sacramento should have won that game. They had it, and they let it go. They were up by 10, as I recall, with about 4 minutes to go, and the Nuggets put on a rush, which they're really good at, and Sacramento just did not play well down the stretch. And then they had they ran a good play for Murray, who got the shot off, and then Sacramento basically couldn't get a final shot off in the last 8 seconds. So that was a game that Sacramento, I thought, just controlled the game from start to almost finish. They just couldn't close it out. So it'll be interesting to see tonight. I think with Doug Christie at the helm, it seems like I watched the game last night on replay, and it seems like the team is running more, shooting more, having some more fun, and actually playing a little bit better defense. So I'm expecting high scoring tonight in the 120s, 130s, and I think it'll be a great battle.
Yeah, and last time we saw you guys, Jamal Murray, seemed like he was slumping a little bit, but he had that big game against us, fourth quarter. How has he been playing lately, and how much of his elevated play as of late is responsible for this solid play?
Well, the good news for us is that he likes playing against Sacramento. The last 4 games, he's averaged, I think, 24.5 points per game, so he's been playing really well. I think with Murray, it's all about health. First part of the season, he usually starts slow and then comes on, but he's had a history of like foot and ankle and calf and knee injuries, and when he has looked healthy, he's been great. When he hasn't, he's been a secondary player, but when he's on his game, he had 45 the other night, and it looked like the old Jamal Murray. But the way the Nuggets are playing now, it's a lot of team ball. It's a lot of Jokic. Gordon and Porter are playing great. Westbrook, they're getting good contributions off the bench. That may be an advantage tonight for the Denver Nuggets. Who knows? They've got a couple guys coming off the bench, Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson and DeAndre Jordan, who've been playing great. So we'll see. I think it's been good. Murray is up and down, but you know what he can do in the playoffs, and I think this version of the Denver Nuggets right now is playing the best basketball of their season.
That's Chris Marlowe, the TV voice of the Nuggets. Chris, you're obviously focused on the Nuggets, but what have you made of the way the Kings have turned things around here since Mike Brown, who's respected and beloved, was dismissed and Doug Christie has taken over?
Yeah, it's interesting. I like Doug Christie. I actually called a number of his games when I was working for Prime Ticket as an announcer, a young announcer out in California when he was at Pepperdine. So I've known Doug for a long time.
Wow.
I think the Kings, they have parts. They have energy. Obviously, you got De'Aaron Fox. I love Domas Sabonis. He's the one guy in the league who's manly enough to take on Jokic and try to bully him and play him hard and get physical with him, and he can score and shoot threes now, which I think is a big help. The starting five is good. It's been kind of a miracle the way they've turned things around. I mean, just going from a team that was really struggling. I don't know what the atmosphere is in the locker room. I don't know what the issues were with Mike Brown, but when you're losing, the coach always kind of takes the fall, and it seems like Doug Christie has breathed new life into this team. And I really enjoyed watching the game last night. The Kings were down all the way, and then they made the run. I'm not a huge Warriors fan. I was glad to see them go into the tank, and I got a chance to light the beam.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, let us light it one more time tonight. How about that? Can you make that happen for us?
No, you're not going to light the beam tonight. This is our night. We're at home. You're on a back-to-back. You're on no rest. We're rolling. I think the Nuggets will get the win, but I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Chris Marlowe, thanks for your time. Have a great call tonight. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah. He didn't care for the Warriors, Drapes. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the West is, every team's against the Warriors and Lakers in the West. I think we all got that in common out here.
He seems pretty confident, though. I mean, he says a lot of nice things, your team, this and that. Yeah. But when you pushed him on it, he seems pretty confident tonight.
And he should. I mean, they're playing great basketball right now. They're rested. We're getting in late. I mean, this is a tough matchup, man. And they beat us last time, and he even admitted, we should have won that game. They stole one from us, if you will. But this, he said it's a different Denver team playing. It's a different Sacramento team too, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're a different team. And so this is a team that Denver really hasn't seen. So I'm interested to see how we come out tonight. I know the legs will be a little heavy and everything like that, but man, if they could just muster some sort of energy, I think it's going to be a great game.
Pardon me for dredging this all up about Mike Brown again, but I think it's relevant because that loss to the Nuggets in December 16th, whatever it was, I mean, that was one of the blocks, if you will, that led to Mike Brown being dismissed. And some people last night, we were talking about it before the game, and I know that it looked bad the way the Kings handled it, and it seemed like it just happened all at once. But a lot of people, I know this is the company line too, it appears that the Kings really didn't want to fire Mike, and they couldn't decide. It's like, well, why did he run the practice, and then why didn't they just tell him, the night before? It looks, Drapes, like the Kings, there really was kind of a split on. They really weren't sure. Obviously, it's worked out, but it wasn't something that they were really all on board with doing at the time.
No, yeah. I mean, Mike is beloved, right? I mean, yeah. Think about it. Like, no matter what happens, this guy helped lead us out of the dark ages, if you will, and he should be, applauded for that. And yeah, that's the thing too. I 100% agree with you. That's a tough decision, man. Because we know he's a good coach. We know he's had success, but I think the expectations are so high for this group that any signs of cracks and everything, and it's like, the season is spiraling out of control. Think about it like this, Whitey. If you would have lost 5 in a row on the road, does Mike still maybe have a job? But because it was at home, it was so bad, the way they lost the games. Indiana, the Detroit game. It just became unbearable, and something had to be done. And it takes a lot of guts, man, a lot of ball, because you know as well as I do, the Kings got roasted nationally for the way they handled the Mike Brown situation and firing. I mean, coaches from here and yonder were taking shots at the Sacramento Kings. It was a gutsy move, but for now, it's paid off.
Yeah, you're right. And I think there's still a lot of people nationally that assume that a lot of this is that, as we said earlier, that new coach bump. But I think anybody who watched that game last night has to realize it's not the first time the Kings have come under Doug Christie from way back to win. And there's something more going on than this new coach bump. And hopefully it'll continue when we come back. Yeah. Kings are a good road team, good enough to stay afloat through 17-23 on the road. That's next. Sactown Sports.
Easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that